Now, in relation to the matter which has occupied a lot of discussion concerning the defamation of Ralph by Margaret London on Nice Radio, I had spoken to Dougie, and I had indicated Dougie DeFreitas last week, Friday, when I was informed and got a transcript from one of the comrades who would tape the programs and give me what they consider to be scurrilous or defamatory.
Okay.
And this is a clear cut case and a terrible case of defamation of me and Beresford.
Yes.
And I contacted my lawyers right away, gave them copies, and those letters are going today to both Margaret London and Dougie DeFreitas for Nice Radio. I read the apologies, and frankly speaking, there are apologies with stings in their tails. They are not. I do not find them to be apologies of contrition.
Okay.
Also I had spoken to Douglas DeFreitas. I said, but you're blaming Margaret. I said, but the next morning you were on my case, and I pointed out the issues where you was on my case. There are a number of scurrilous accusations and all flowing from a declaration that I am worthless. I said, how could I be worthless, Dougie? Give me the evidence where I'm worthless. I say, you see, the problem is this. You say these things. You and I are in the same church. Sometimes you may hold the chalice with the wine. I'm going up for communion and I take the wafer from somebody. You have the chalice in your hand. I'm giving him an example. How can I take the symbolic blood of Christ during the process of transubstantiation in our church for somebody who defames me on an ongoing basis? He apologizes, he says sorry, he shouldn't say things like this, and so on. But the point is this: he runs an operation which is a veritable factory of misinformation, of scurrility, and he oversees a campaign of vilification against me. The number of I can sue them every single day, but there are certain things I'm going to put a stop to. I intend to. I am going to give them some time to see whether they are genuinely contrite. But the lawyer letters are going off today. And we will choose the time when we will sue, depending on a number of factors. Look, it's just only 2-3 months ago, there was a newscast on Nice Radio. Over 3 newscasts accusing me of misbehavior in public office, that I own 2 Liat aircraft. They even called the number of the aircraft VC so and so and so and so, meaning the St. Vincent.
Yes.
And that I am the chairman of the shareholders, and I am drawing so much money for renting these aircraft that the whole story. Somebody put it, some internet crazy put it up.
Yes, yes.
They run with it. So I told Dougie DeFreitas, I say, it is difficult for me to believe that you had never heard this broadcast even once, and it's 3 times it was broadcast. He told me, he said, okay, he has to look into these things, and I had mentioned it to Animusas one day in Parliament, the day when it happened. I said, these fellas want to take care of me in my old age. So it's Eustace who called him and tell him that he should apologize to me, and he called me late the night after Parliament.
Okay.
And called me again and sent an apology. I accepted it. Because, listen to me, I could sue Dougie at least once a week, he personally, for the scurrility he runs against me. And I outlined to him several things that he says and where they are defamatory. He says, yes, and he apologized. On the phone with me. Called me Sunday morning before I went to the parade, the Remembrance Day parade.
Okay.
I told him, I said, Dougie, you're taking advantage of a declaration which I made, which you know is true and in my heart. Some people may not understand it. Dougie and I are related. More importantly than the relation, Dougie's father, Father John, was a fantastic human being. And my father were very, very close. When Father John, who lived down in the close to town, but he also had to be in the country a lot because he had a farm. He used to stay in Connery, a stone throw from where my father lived. He used to stay with his sisters Am and Paulina.
Okay.
When Father John go to the mountain, go to his land, if he bring back guava, mango, he bring back sugar apple, he bring back the particular kind of a fruit. I don't see them anymore. No, almost like what we have now called passion fruit, bell apple.
Mm-hmm.
And he will give me mother to give me, or he'll give me myself, even though my father had those things on his farm and I could go and get them.
All right.
So those things, call me foolish, call me sentimental, but those things still resonate in me and mean something to me.
Okay.
So to sue him in a personal capacity, I will find very, very difficult because of that. If I were to, as I am to do it, I'd remember Father John and my old man.
So PM, good.
So the point I want to make is this. But of course, he has a radio station. He has to control his people. So the radio station naturally has to get sued or written to. So the letters have gone off. Another one with scurrility on Friday night. I called again, tell him is Glenford Prescott. When Pressy meet me, he's very nice and sweet in front of my face. Yeah, I give him interview, lengthy interview, nearly, I must be an hour.
Okay.
A few months ago when we took the press out at Argyle. I have nothing against Pressy, but he bile these fellas. He also will get a letter, not today, because I have other things to do, and you'll probably get that next week from my lawyers.
Okay.
And the transcript is going to be sent to my lawyers today or tomorrow. These fellas have to stop it. And some of the internet crazies, either when they call in or when they're or when they go on the internet, they don't know that they can be sued. They think they are immune. There's a short fella about 5'6" in New York City, goes under different names. I know who he is. I know who he is.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I don't bother on a lot of things. But I know. I mean, somebody from overseas. I don't go and read any people gossip on their Facebook and so on. It's people draw to my attention, or who goes on War Room, or who goes on Movement and whatever. But people will send stuff to me, and I will see. I shrug my shoulder, I throw them away. But sometimes,
yes,
I say, well, I have to deal with something. And the point is this. These are people who have absolutely no connection with any facts or anything. Apparently, to give meaning to their lives, in where they are in the US, for instance, or in Canada, when they get up in the morning, is to hate me. That is the only thing that gives meaning to their lives. the fact that they hold insignificant jobs in the U.S. or elsewhere, or no jobs at all. You understand what I mean?
Yes, yes.
Rather than try and do something very productive with their lives, they feel that any misfortune which befalls them is Ralph's fault.
Yeah.
When they themselves are responsible for their own misfortune.
Right. But Prime Minister, Mr. DeFreitas has said it in his apology on the radio station that his main aim is to unseat you politically.
Yes.
And this is not a situation where you're putting a thumbtacks into a piece of wood. You're literally pounding a 20 penny into the wood and then pulling it out with a gaping hole at the end of the day.
Well, the point about it is this. I had said to Dougie, I said, Dougie, listen to me. These people do not have your interest at heart, you know. I said, last time, you had to carry a campaign and raise over $20,000. I mean, $200,000. $150,000 for the defamation, and $40,000 for the lawyer's fees. And then, of course, interest goes on and the money from the date of the judgment. It came up to over $200,000. I say, you have to pay those, you know. I say, you may raise, people may help you here and abroad to raise some money towards $200,000. But would they raise it? Would they help you with 3, 4, or 5? Well, you saw his note to Margaret.
Yes.
London. He realizes that, and he's pointing that out to them. He has to bear the pain. Is his house which is in hock with the radio station.
Yes.
And so on and so forth.
Yes.
But you will have Margaret London will go on the Facebook, and she was there with a number of ULP supporters. I got the thing last night. Somebody sent it to me yesterday evening. And they're all, everybody is demanding that I sue her. Not one person. There were about 15 people who interacted with her with other people on the matter. And she said, words to the effect that is, thank God that Ralph is a forgiving person. Now, how could I be
and
at the same time?
That raises the question, PM, where does the buck stops?
The point about it is this. How could I be a forgiving person while at the same time they're all denouncing me as the most evil and the most worthless man in the world?
There you go.
Most evil and most worthless. If I am forgiven, they're supposed to say, therefore, if they mean that I am a man after God's own heart, like David, you know, who is primarily responsible for the Psalms, who ruled Israel for 40 years and united it.
Okay.
United the various factions and tribes. For 40 years, his son Solomon took over.
Yes.
No, the point is this, is either I am worthless and the most evil person in the world.
Which is not the case.
Which is not the case.
Right.
Or, as she says now when she's some difficulty, that I am forgiven. And it's thank God that I'm a forgiving person. Well, everybody knows that I'm a forgiving person.
Yes.
But the point is this, and she knows it too, that's why she writes it. But the point is this, why are they continuing this campaign of vilification? By all means, have robust criticisms of me, but don't defame me now.
Yes.
Stay within bounds. Stay within the bounds. I have been a robust critic of many people for nearly 50 years, 46 years of my political activism. And nobody ever sue me for defamation. Nobody ever as much as write me seriously threatening to sue me. You see where I'm coming from?
Yes, we follow.
Make your criticism. I have, as I told Douglas DeFreitas, I said, Dougie, you opposed me virulently in 2001. You did so in 2005. You did so in 2010. In each of those elections, I won. It means that your opposition to me does not count for much or anything at all.
Exactly.
Because I won.
Yes.
Now, if by some miracle the ULP loses the next election, which all indications show that we are going to win, it wouldn't be because that Dougie criticizes me. He might claim victory. You see, because, you know, as the Chinese saying tells us, victory has 1,000 fathers, but failure is an orphan. Because when they lost in 2001, they blame Mitchell.
Yeah.
In 2005, they blame Arnim, and they say, I walk over here and I thief the election. In 2010, they blame Arnim and also say I thief the election. So it wouldn't be because of the good works which we are doing, and the people are seeing what we are doing, that they will continue to support us or support the leadership of Comrade Ralph and the ULP.
Yes.
Now, so these letters are going, the lawyers are writing them. My lawyers are writing them, making the various demands with apology in a proper form approved by the lawyers, and an undertaking not to repeat the same or similar kinds of defamatory statements. And compensation, they didn't put any sum. And I am prepared to watch to see how they're doing, to see whether they're truly contrite. To see if, as somebody suggested in the discussions on which I saw, the extensive discussions on the subject on Facebook. And what I hear from people, I know that if I don't write them, despite these apologies, which I am saying, Margaret has apologized in a sentence. But the preamble and what happens after the apology is that she's not really apologizing.
Exactly.
She said it wasn't her intent. Intent has nothing to do with apology, with defamation.
Exactly.
Any first-year law student would tell her that. And she loves to read law books. She could read it and see it as is what you say and what you meant and you understood to mean.
Yeah.
That's what the ingredients of defamation is, that you must falsely and maliciously publish, and you could publish by writing or speaking, falsely and maliciously publish, often concerning Ralph. And in this case, I'm talking about defaming of me.
Okay. So, Pierre, Mama,
certain words. It doesn't have anything to do what is your intention. It's the words are false. They are malicious.
Yes.
And once they are false, the law assumes that they've been malicious. And you publish them so that people hear it, and you, as a consequence, you damage my character.
Yes.
And as a consequence of that damage, my character and reputation, monetary compensation flows. That's defamation 101 I'm giving you this morning on radio.
Okay.
As a lawyer who has been in the business for 30-something years.
Right.
So they're getting their letters. I don't consider that the apologies that they sent are sufficient.
So are you giving them a second opportunity to correct this?
Well, the lawyers have written to them and they'll deal with the lawyers.
Okay.
You know, I may, upon the advice of the lawyers, write Dougie DeFreitas a personal letter.
Okay.
You know, I may. But you see what is happening? They have gotten all very antsy now. Their campaign of vilification has increased. Why? Because they themselves feel that genuinely the election's coming shortly. Well, feel what you want to feel. You know? Because I put in the draft constitution that I shouldn't be able to call it until 3 months before the expiration of the term. That means I could not call it before September next year.
Right.
Before the end of September next year. But they didn't want that. Now they're saying, ring the bell. They want it. Give me it. Ralph, give me it. I want it. That means want the office of the Prime Minister. I don't owe Eustace nothing. You hear me?
Yes.
I never borrow any money from him. You see what I mean?
Yes.
Nor Leacock or Cummins or any of them who write and talk. I have nothing to give them. The people have put me here. And only the people can move me.
Right.
And they have me here under the Constitution until March the 28th, 2016.
That's correct.
Eh?
Yes.
And upon the advice to me and prayerful consideration with God, to God, and the grace granted unto me, I will make a determination.
Yes.
And I don't use I there as I man, because the Constitution says me, Ralph, the Prime Minister, has to advise the Governor General about the dissolution of Parliament.
Right.
I wanted to do it differently, you know, but they said no, because they think they could have given me a political black eye in the referendum and in the election following. Right home. Well, Son Mitchell had warned them, referendum is one thing. Remember he told them in a Searchlight story, he said, Ralph is a hard nut to crack.
Yes.
You remember that?
Yes.
So, the most important thing I call you about today is about the 8 families.
All right.
Okay? But I gave you the details.
All right.
I ain't calling people's names. You know, I don't do that.
Yes, sir.
But I have to know, I say what I've said about this issue concerning defamation of me.
Yes.
Because it has dominated your talk shows.
Yes, it has.
It is dominating the internet. And I know the overwhelming, almost unanimous advice of our supporters and people who are independent, because I get text messages from people. They tell me, sue.
Yeah.
But the point is this: I will give prayerful reflection on all of this. And I said, I want to see if there's a genuine alteration in the behavior of Nice Radio, Margaret London, Prescott, Douglas DeFreitas, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Just last week, you know, a good friend of mine called and said, I want you to do something for me in relation to Junior Bacchus and Matthew Case. Let they pay only $1 and say they're sorry.
Yes.
Because, you know, I have judgments against them which they're trying to appeal and so on. They have defamed me. There's no anybody will tell you. They could play for time, play for draw. And I told the person I have to talk to the lawyers, I have to talk to people who are close to me. And I will have to get the lawyers, get their lawyer, get Matthew and Junior lawyers together and let it sit and talk and see whether the spirit is such that in that spirit I can provide the forgiveness.
Okay.
But the point is this: then these other things wake up, and they go on this crazy campaign. I'm not putting Junior in this, because it's seen as Junior cool out a little bit. But he's a kind of fella, he go cool out a little bit, then all of a sudden, he just flare up. You know how that is, for no reason at all, you know.
All right.
But the point is this: I want to see honestly that there is contrition, not just something to save your skin.
Okay. Finally, before we go, Prime Minister, because we're on borrowed time here now.
Yes.
We're into a paid program segment. But today, of course, the opening of the Langley Park Bridge.
Oh, man.
And I want you to tell me what position you're batting on Sunday.
Well, I would say if and I put this out, I don't know if you're going to have a lot of people who are there who have money. But if one or two businessmen and others who come there and they want to see me bat, I will say that if you put up some money and the money reach in the region of $500, you know, I want too much to go to the South River School. You know what I mean? Maybe to help with the school feeding program or something. I will go and bat in the top 5. But if not, I once modeled when there was a fundraising at the residence of the Prime Minister for money for the Guadeloupe School for Girls.
Right.
Eloise and some other people had put it on. And it was a Chinese auction. My modeling raised $2,000, you know. It was the single largest item. Even though you had a lot of pretty girls and lovely clothing and so on, I modeled and swerved and so on. And it must have been quite a sight.
I wonder, is there a video of that?
Please. No. The girth then was very expansive, but I tried to do the kind of little turn like what the beauty queens do and put one ankle between the foot, you know, and the other one. You know what I mean? And put your head a particular way. It earned $2,000 for the girls.
Very well.
So the point I'm saying, now all these things happen, you know. I don't talk about them.
Okay.
You know, but in as much as they arise in a context like this now, you go hear a little snippet.
Yes.
So that, I don't know, I could call some names. I know Moulton Mears. He's a man, he's an architect, he makes a lot of money across this country, doing good work. There are people like Giddy Brown. There's a chief executive officer and others at Couriers, Pravi and Joel and the others. Yes. We have several heads of GECU. We have people who head banks and so on and so forth. I hope they come. But no, if not, there are people in the area.
Yes.
People right in South Rivers, 4D.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
People who do work in the area, come and put together something. Now I may bat, even though there's not any fundraising.
Okay.
But some fundraising. I put that element in this morning in as much as you asked me.
Yes, sir.
Will see me batting in the first half of the order.
All right.
Wow. We only need to that was the PM.
If not, you may not see me bat at all.
PM, today, of course, the opening of the Langley Park Bridge.
It's a fantastic evening this evening. I will have a lot of fun.
Yes, yes.
And I'm asking all the people north of the river, as many as possible, and those who are around Monbentic, Langley Park Basin, whole Georgetown will come up.
Yes.
It's going to be a lovely evening. God's willing, and the rain holds up.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
Good,
sir.
fine.
All right. Okay. That was Prime Minister Dr. Alf Gonsalves. And you heard it there from the PM. He spoke extensively on the whole matter of the Margaret London BDS Nice Douglas DeFreitas apology. And he said he's instructed his lawyers to write to Mr. DeFreitas and, Miss London.